What is going on, guys? Hey, I wanted to come back to you this afternoon and bring you a video with Megyn Kelly talking to Posie Parker. And they're talking about how using preferred pronouns is kind of an entry into darker forms of the trans ideology, the trans movement, and really how women's rights are under attack. But anyways, guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
Let me talk about the pronouns, because I know you don't say them. And this has been an ongoing debate. Matt Walsh doesn't believe in saying them. You know, I don't think Ben Shapiro, my pal over Daily Wire, says them. I've been saying them. And I've run into a brick wall when I've gotten to Dylan Mulvaney, because I see that Dylan Mulvaney is a faker. Just like as clear as the day is long. Dylan Mulvaney wants to be famous. Dylan Mulvaney's out there just completely patronizing us, bastardizing us. And I refuse. I don't believe Dylan Mulvaney has any sort of disorder. I believe Dylan wants to be a star. So I've run into it now. Why do you not say the pronouns that they choose?
So the pronouns are like a gateway drug, if you like, to accepting this ideology. So you've got, there's a really good essay called Pronouns Are a Hypnol. And what it talks about is the fact that once you say she, it's really difficult to police our boundaries successfully. So if I'm out to dinner and there's somebody at the table and it's she all night, it's very difficult to say she can't use the women's toilets, she can't run in the girls' athletics, she can't swim in the girls' swim team. And so I just think it's not a courtesy. It's damaging for women. Every time we allow these men to creep into our language, we erode a little bit of our own boundaries. And so I just absolutely refuse to do it. I don't care how much effort. I don't care whether they've had surgery. As far as I'm concerned, there is no man on this planet that deserves the pronoun she, her.
You know what, guys, man? I totally agree with that. You know, we can't start calling he a she and then tell them they can't go in the women's restroom. You know what? You can't go in. I know that we just all refer to you as a she, but in fact you are a he and you're not allowed to go in there. Well, you're referring to that person as a she, and now you're saying she isn't allowed to go in the women's bathroom. Like, you know, what is happening? What is going on? That kind of stuff is kind of the gateway, what she was talking about, the gateway into things. And that kind of stuff, is, to me, is very dangerous. It's setting up a very dangerous precedent.
Mm-hmm. So what do you tell your kids? Because now they're asked in various forums, what are your pronouns?
My children really have avoided it. I've sort of told them it's not their hell to die on and it's social suicide. So if they're really asked directly, they can say it. But, you know, I've been doing this a long time. So my children were primed before this ideology infested schools. So they haven't yet been asked their pronouns. But you know, you can say your own pronouns if you like. I just think you can say, look, that's not an ideology I go along with.
That's what my kids say. I've told my kids, because we're in a woke hell in the Northeast United States. I've told my kids, you can just simply respond, I don't feel comfortable talking in those terms.
And that's one thing I noticed too. So many people in the Northeast, man, not all, but so many people in the Northeast, man, they have bought hook, line, and sinker into this BS. They really have. And that's something, again, I've noticed so many times, man, people that I talk to that I know from up there. I live in the South, man. But people I know that live up north, man, they live in the Northeast, they have bought a hook, line, and sinker into this stuff. And again, man, nobody's talking about hating people or whatever. People are talking about this ideology, this spirit that's behind this stuff is evil. Again, people don't accept themselves. They got to change themselves. They got to somehow become different. We don't teach kids how to accept who they are. we tell them, you know what? If you aren't comfortable in the body, in the mess that you're born into, you can change it. You can somehow become different. You can become the other gender, the other sex, or whatever. And the funny thing is, and this was something that that a person that subscribes to my channel was saying last night was there's only two. There's only two different choices, male and female. So when you're getting reassignment surgery or gender affirming care or whatever they call it now, when you get that done, there's only two choices, male and female. There's not like 7 different choices. There's two. So again, man, but we are teaching kids that we're teaching people in general that if in fact you are not comfortable in the freaking hell that you're born into, the best way to deal with that is to cut things off, add things on, do whatever. That's the best way to deal with it. So we're not dealing with things like, maybe there's something wrong deeper down within you. You need to get help. You need to whatever. No, we gotta cut things off and add things on and do hormone blockers and hormone, therapy and everything else. That's what we need to do. It's not about what's in you. It's about, we got to chop off things. But I think, years ago, back when I was a kid, and I know it's been a few years, but the fact of the matter is, man, they used to teach us, don't worry about having the most expensive pair of jeans or, the most, whatever, the nicest pair of shoes or whatever. It's about what's inside. You can buy something, you can buy whatever, you can have a flashy car, you can have a expensive pair of jeans or whatever, and that's not going to change who you are. That's not going to change the way you feel about yourself because it's superficial, that's external. That's something that we talked about years ago, and now we don't teach kids that. And we teach them, if you feel something is wrong with you, then it is. If you feel that you were born into the wrong body, then you are.
And look, I think you can try and avoid those conversations completely as a teenager. But I said to my children, you don't have to lie. So if somebody says, do you think that person is a woman? You don't have to say yes. But you could say, I don't think it's appropriate to talk about it. I think it causes too much division. There's many ways to avoid the conversation. But look, I just think with the pronouns, it's almost okay what you want to do personally. But if you're advocating for others, if you have a platform to speak, such as in the media, and you're an incredibly strong and successful woman like you, then I think it would be great if you held the line, because so many women look up to you that I think I would really love to see you hold that line quite tight.
I've really been wrestling with it lately. I'll have a lot of my viewers and audience say, use the right pronoun, meaning the biological pronoun. And I just never wanted to be disrespectful, but it's gone beyond a matter of compassion or respect at this point. As I said at the top of the show, we're playing for much higher stakes now. Womanhood itself is under threat. Our spaces, our wellness, our safety, from prisons to locker rooms and so on. We had a debate on the show recently when it hit the news that somebody had gone into a YMCA. A 17-year-old girl took to the microphones out at the San Diego YMCA saying, I saw a naked man in the locker room, and I don't think I should be subjected to that, nor should my 6-year-old sister. Then the person came out who was the man, who is a trans person, and this guy was saying, I had the surgery, and there's no way she saw a penis. Now, we don't know whether that's true or not, but what if the person did have a surgery? What if it's a biological man who had the surgery, now looks like they have female anatomy? Should that person be allowed to use the female locker room?
No, because it goes back again to fetish. And so there will be some men that actually do have their genitals inverted and removed, and they will still do it for a fetish. And look, it's not for women to make men feel more comfortable about themselves. It's women's spaces are for women to feel comfortable about ourselves and to feel that we have safety and dignity and privacy. So I just think under no circumstances should women be expected to move over? Because every time we include men in our space, we exclude so many women who then won't be able to go to that space. There are more victims of sexual assault, more female victims of sexual assault in the United States of America than there are men pretending to be women.
How do you know if it's the fetish thing or if it's actual gender dysphoria, which a very, very small percentage of the population does suffer from?
Well, I think the point is that you don't know. I mean, I would say it's at least 90% of men who claim to be women do it for a sexual fetish. But I could be completely wrong, could be 50-50. It doesn't actually matter because I still don't want them in our spaces. My husband's a really nice man, a really, really lovely man, and I don't want him in female spaces either. And he doesn't want to go in them. Decent men don't want to make women and girls feel uncomfortable by using our space. There is not a man. I say that there are not men who don't have predatory tendencies who want to enter into female spaces, knowing it would make some of those women in that space uncomfortable.
You know what, guys, man, I'm going to cut the video right here. But I totally agree with that. Right now, women's rights are under attack. Men don't need to be in women's locker rooms, restrooms, nobody. And again, real men, and men with some kind of decency, they understand that. They understand, you know what, I am not a woman. It doesn't matter if I want to wear a dress or want to get stuff eaten chopped off. I am not a woman. And I don't belong there. I don't belong in that place. And, thing is, we have gotten so woke. We have gone so far down that damn rabbit hole to where we actually feel that we are hurting the men that want to dress up and pretend they're women. We're hurting them. We're hurting their poor feelings if we don't let them in these spaces. It's like these spaces are for women. They're for girls. Real women. Real girls. That's something that mattered years ago. Real. We're talking about real women. Real girls. And, let's stop pretending. Let's stop being fake. And let's stop worrying about everyone's feelings. We got to make sure everyone feels just so. Everyone feels good about themselves or whatever. No, because when you do that, it's not real. When you set things up that way, you're setting things up in a way that's not real. Because again, man, somebody's going to get their feelings hurt with something. You're always going to have that. You're always going to have somebody upset about something. So it's not real. We can't do that. We got to have things set up in a way like, hey, look, man, are you a woman? A real woman? No. Well, no. You don't go in there. You don't go in their space. That's something you don't do. And we got to be honest. We got to be frank about that. And we got to be clear. And that's something we will not tolerate anymore. We are living a lie. We are living a lie. It's all under this guise of inclusion and not hurting people's feelings, whatever. And the thing is, people, they think they're helping, but they're not. Sometimes the best thing you can do to people is tell them the truth. And look, you're rioting, you're acting stupid, you're stealing stuff, whatever. Your future is not going to be good. You're not a woman. You're not a woman. You're a man. You have a penis. You are a man. You don't belong in there. Stop it. If you go in there, you're going to be arrested. End story. You know, I mean, years ago, we used to understand that. We used to get that. We got to get back to it. We got to stop this whole feminizing, you know, I hate to say this, man, pussification. You know, we're about everyone's feelings. There's a dark side to that. You can't accommodate everyone. And you definitely don't want to accommodate evil. You don't want to accommodate the devil. But hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a